Okay, doing a project update for June the 26th. So many changes in this last 2 weeks. There are almost, our roof structure is near completion and our panels are dwindling to just a little. Okay, this wall we put the did all the joint treatment and put the first coat of stucco on it. Carried up to do the infills between the rafters. Just have to. We have to do that one panel. While I was waiting, so we got. I was going to use pieces to do that privacy panel there by the off the end of the deck. So that some of the stuff that's in there will end up basically filling that privacy panel in with, in essence, cuttings that are of no use. Okay, there's the beams are complete to come out and hold up these big, because these two sides of the house are 4-foot eaves to give coverage, so he can walk out in the rain around on the sidewalk here, and you'll have coverage. Actually, almost all of the steel is here now. Okay, now this is showing kind of the progress as we go through here. Is there is a where there's if there's an joint that's open, we put a flexible elastomeric caulking in that. Because remembering, of course, the ground dances in Costa Rica, so there is going to be movements in the house. So, whatever it is, it's best to prepare for that reality. And since we're in the most seismically active area of the country, that's rather important. So you can see we just did this. So there's elastomeric, and then Plysum makes a special acrylic base that we use to patch. They do it. They only do it as the same Maya, but in a 12-inch strip around the joints. And I figured a couple of years ago this didn't make any sense. What we do is we create an entire membrane. So we've got one layer underneath. We put another one, because this is not really rigid stucco, so therefore it will give better and of course it is what Plysum demands to go with their ply rock. So you follow the company's instructions. I'm not about to argue with them. So there's a base underneath the mesh, then another patch goes on top of it, and then we put our base stucco coat, which was you saw on the other wall there. Anyways, that's giving an idea of what the process is, because then you end up with a membrane over the entire wall. So the stucco cap is the best, most secure way to stick it. Make sure it stays on your panels. See here, for example, this is a tight joint, so we just use that cap on there to fill any tight joints in. Where there's more than a 2mm opening, like this one here, gets the elastomeric injected in there so that there's something rubbery that would give, so it will stand up longer, look good for many years longer than if that is not done that way. And then of course, and then this is the acrylic stucco here that goes over top of all of this cement-based stuccos, with the whole point of an acrylic is it will not grow what we call here ongles, molds and whatnot. Lichens do not grow on acrylic, because if you, for example, there's a raw column there. Well, if I come back in a year, that thing is going to be more gray and black. That's just a given. It's going to happen. So that's why we have used And in these stuccos, of course, they're made here, so we can tint these to anything we want on a color fan, um, and so get good color matches with our gals there. Anyways, so here's the now. Well, the front of this is not done. Its final look is not done. We've got some more structural work here to do, but we're on the home stretch. We've got maybe 2 days more, and all of the structural steel will be done. As you can see, it's down here. We're painting it, putting a prime coat on the galvanized down here in the ground where it's easier to do, and then it goes up and gets welded and filled, and then we'll get a finish coat of paint put on it so that it has a good durable and good finish and goes easier. Oh, and then of course our red iron there that has the prime coat on it, that the non-galvanized steel, of course, gets the same treatment with a high quality paint, so durability there. And you can see up in the rafters, all those pins sticking up in the rafters are what will hold those steel tubes over there, because this is the ply rock will be up on top there, laying on the roof, and then those go on contrary, and that's what holds your roofing down. We call them, they're nailing strips, but they're there to now weld. After that's done, those 2x2s get on here and get welded onto those pins, so they're not going anywhere, to put it mildly. And that creates that multi-layered roof, because above that, being this house is going to have air conditioning in it, this will have styrofoam, and then above that is where all the wiring is run, so that's hidden away. And as I made a point today, I was just reading something about people having chronic health conditions, particularly in North America, but we have I think 147 species of mold here, and so there's things like gypsum. I do not use gypsum ever. And out here at the beach, it's an insane idea. Gypsum is covered, or gyprock, wallboard, whatever you want to call it, is covered in paper. Well, these molds just love paper. And then the muds have a tendency of also, in high humidity conditions, will reliquefy. With the cement board, the fiber cement board, no, everything we're putting on here, turns hard as rock, will not reliquefy ever under any circumstances, and so is resistance to high humid conditions. Because here year round we go from high humid to ridiculous humidity. I have a humidistat, and I've seen it hit 92% one November when we were in one of our wet stretches. But even in the dry season, it drops down to 63%. So that's very much a concern about what products you're using, because very commonly most builders will put on there a gypsum drywall for that ceiling. Really bad move. Cheaper? Well, when you install it, but come back and ask that same question 5 years later. Different story. It's a gift that keeps on giving, and I've had houses that wouldn't basically quit being a maintenance problem. But anyways, inside here, getting all of the corner beads, and you can see we've been doing some of the joint filling, some stucco on here. We did a test batch here a while back, but now the very unique loft is all done. Basically, we haven't put all the sheets down because we're using sheets also for the deck walking, but anyways, it is as it's going to look. All the rafters on this side are in place, giving an idea of what the superstructure is like here. So if we're about 2 days to put in the rake head. These are 4 rake head windows that will be going in here yet, and another support, well, decorative structure in the front gable there. And all the beam work here is basically being capped, waiting for stucco to go on it. So I better shut up. It's 10 minutes here now. But we can see that this is what the infill is like. We haven't done our pieces to fill in the rafter spaces. Anyways, that gives pretty much a, so this is where this is our under, so our flat ceiling area is in here, and the bathroom all the way in the 1 bedroom here. So that's all the area that has 8-foot ceilings. And of course this is our Romex wiring. I believe I'm one of the very few that use Romex. The typical, they're doing panels or running conduit, which is completely pointless and doubles the price of the electrical system. Anyways, with that, we shall wrap up for our tour for today.